Shabbat Shalom, dear friends, angels, each and every one of you. Above you on your screen is screen L. To your right, friend L. Below you and to your left, and all around you, Shekhinah, the presence of the divine, as we move from the 8th day of Hanukkah, Zot Hanukkah, into Shabbat Miketz, with these ancient chords and modern applications. B'Shem Hashem Elohei Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom, friends. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. You know, for the last 9 months, we've been together in Zoom land. We Shabbated together in Zoom land. We Rosh Hashanah together in Zoom land. We Sukkot together, and now we Hanukkah together in Zoom land. And we've been using a Siddur. And when you have a Siddur, you have a hard time seeing other things. And so we hope that you have figured out a way to download the Siddur. This is our first week Siddur free. Some more of the ability to see the prayer leaders and your friends. And if you have the Siddur, find these words. Higalena, page 7 and 8. Gale, 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 na fros, fros, chavivi alai, Suka Shlome Cham Gane, Gane, Gane Na Fros Chavivi alai Etzuka Suka Mecha. Take a couple of deep breaths, everyone. And if you can turn off the mind slightly, imagining Shlomecha, meaning the peace of spirit all around you, underneath you, holding you. As we enter Shabbat, Shabbat that is here waiting for each and every one of you. So I invite you to feel the energy of Lechu, which is someone comes and grabs you by the hand and says, hey, let's go, let's go. And maybe sometimes you feel, don't pull me, don't pull me. Just invite me and say, hey, we're going to go sing. And imagine the poet who says, Lechu niranena, the beginning of Kabbalat Shabbat, Psalm 95 says, Lechu, let's go. An invitation to sing, an invitation to be taken by Shabbat. Lechu niranena, l'Adonai. Nahariach letzon yisheno nekadema fanav betoda bezemiros nari alo. We're on page 10 if you're following the Siddur. 9 and 10. Arba'im shana akut bedor va'omar am to'e levavchem v'hem lo yadu derachai asher nishbati mi'api im yevon el menuchasi. On page 11 and 12. Hey, 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 I lie, did it lie, oh, lie, did it lie, hey, shim ledonai, shir chadashim donai, kol haaretz, shir ledonai, baruch shemo, basum yom liyom, yeshuato, sabtu magoyim, kevodo v'chol ha'amim, nifleotav, hi gadol Adonai, umulal me'od, norahu, al kol Elohim, ay, kol loche, עמים אלילים ואדוני שמיים עשה הון והדר לפניו על תפארת ומקדשו העם לאדוני משפחות עמים העמו לאדוני כבוד ועוז הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו שאו מנחה ובאו לחצרותיו איי איי השתחמו לאדוני oh hi lie 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 diddy lie 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 hey lie 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 hey lie 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 hey lie 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 everybody please rise if you're able hi lie lie hi lie lie hi lie lie hi lie 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 hey lie lie hey lie lie. If you're following along in the Siddur, you can find Mizmor LeDavid, Psalm 29 on page 28. It's so hard to let go of the week without letting voice, sound, call, all of the ha, the power of sound, the power of breath. Take a deep breath, everyone, as you sit. These 6 words, which many of you already know by heart, so you don't have to look, maybe even in the Siddur, or maybe you might need it, but Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, this beautiful chant that we always insert between the 6th psalm that is usually recited on Kabbalat Shabbat and the beginning of Lechadodi, the great poem. A reminder that Shabbat is a day of resting, a day of Malchut, of feeling held by the Shekhinah, by the divine presence that permeates both space and time at this moment. The words can be found on page 30 in your Siddur or in your own memory and heart. Feel the end of your breath resting in your body. Shem Kivod Malchuso Leolam Banu Shem Kivod Malchuso Leolam So into this precious space between, as we stand together, sit together, presence together between. I invite you to take 3 minutes to really rest and bring your attention to the breath. If your eyes are not already closed, I invite you to close them. just to give yourself a little bit of that precious ability to feel a little bit more than maybe what we feel when our eyes are wide open. And so into this space with eyes closed, energy here present as we actively and with just the right amount of energy and effort release the week. Noticing any tension in the body, just scanning gently. Noticing where energy wants to move and where it wants to be noticed and alive, unfrozen, unstuck, unheld. And the great effort of creation, the great effort of the week, the great effort of doing and working, and the great possibility of release, of slowing down, of noticing. Every exhale is a mini Shabbat. Every exhale is a mini release. The energetic effort of filling met with the effortless and free release of that which has been gathered in with great faith and great trust. Taking one more minute, everyone, to just let go of the week. And as your eyes open, return to the great poem, Lecha Dodi, which can be found in your Siddur on page 32. Lecha Dodi, Likras Kala, Venei Shabbat Nekavila Ay Shamon Vezachor Vedin Borecha Tishmi Anu El HaMeyuchad Adonai Echad U'Shemo Echad L'Shem Teferet Ve'Lezin Lecha Dodi Likras Kala Venei Shabbat Nekavila Likras Shabbat Lechu Menel Chaki Mekol HaBracha Merosh Mikedem Nesucha Sof Maaseh Machshava Tefila Lecha Dodi Likras Kala Venei Shabbat Nekavila חרב לך שבשיא מקמחנהו יחמוד עלייכם ללך דודי לקרס קלם והנה שבס נקבלם לך דודי נקרס קלם והנה שבס נקבלם ay ay isnani me afarkuni levi midei sibarneham yalya ben shaybe salam korba el nafshi ke ימין ושמאל וידעתי תריצי על כאן וארצי ותעלי המדינה לילה לילה ונשמע נקבינה Please rise if you're able. Boim shalom materet ba'ala. Gam besimcha u'betzala. Toch emunei am segula. Boi chala. Shabbat HaMalkah. Ay, 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 lecha dodi. Ay, lay, lay, likras kalak. Elay, b'nei Shabbos. B'nei Shabbos nekabela. So as we stand here, everyone invites you into a space of healing. And it is in a moment as Rebecca shares the names of those in our community who are in need of healing. Please bring their names into your heart. The chat is also open for you to place names in there as well. May there be healing in body, heart, mind, and soul for all of those who need healing this Shabbat. And let us all say, Amen. Shabbos, everyone. Good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom. It's different to be with all of you without the screen, having a Siddur in front of it, frankly. I don't know what your experience is. I'm looking forward to receiving emails from various people. It worked, it didn't work, but our desire, of course, is by working, it means more ability to see one another and a bit less of the beautiful Siddur that we share with you so that we might be in presence with one another. Shabbat Shalom to each and every one of you. We have a couple of very brief announcements, but while we do these brief announcements, we'd love to know if you're here for the first time and you might want to put your name and where you're from into the chat area, which is open, and we'll be able to say hello and chat with you. In a moment, we have a couple of very brief announcements. So on the page in front of you, we have, I'm not sure where it went, but it's somewhere. There it is. Thank you, Rebecca. Tomorrow morning, of course, open book, and our Shabbat morning service, open book at 9, and then services begin at 10 o'clock. Registration is required. What a beautiful image there of our Romemu Siddur. That is the cover of our Romemu Shabbat morning Siddur, which, God willing, well, all of you will be able to hold in your hands soon, in the actual sanctuary of the Romemu community. We have some programming to let you know about, some new lifelong learning class Israel Lit. It will be starting on January 7th, once a month with Professor Ronnie Sharfman and Rana Rogel. So good to see the two of them back. They in cahoots together, teaching together. They're going to be reading together The Drive by Yair Asulin. So that'll be, look for that. Look for that January 7th. Join that group. Big Yashikoach. This past Sunday, December 13th, to Daikin Nelson and Rabbi Mir Rivera and the entire team that helped make 150 meals at the Romemu Kitchen in the Romemu Center. It's going to happen again, God willing, on December 17th and January 17th. Please put those dates in your calendar and email socialaction@romemu.org to volunteer to help with this big mitzvah. It's a big mitzvah to do this. So, lastly, volunteers are standing by. We want you to know that at this time, of course, with so much isolation and so much yearning for connection, that the Romemu Chesed Committee volunteers are ready to help. So please, if you need a helping hand, please reach out. Or if you know of someone who does, please let us know, and so that we can reach out to them as well. And now into this chat area, looking for some first-timers, anybody that would like to introduce themselves as a new member of this Friday evening service or community. All 187 cameras. I don't know what that translates into, but if you're here for the first time, we would love it if you give us a chance to say hi. And while you are doing that, finding the chat area, you might also want to multitask at this moment, Shabbat style, slowly and with breath and attention, and bring, something that you're bringing tonight and place it into the Mentimeter word cloud, which you'll see in a moment. So kind of, if you're here for the first time, please put it into the chat. And if you're bringing something that you'd like to text over to us so we can all see it, that's also available. We'll take a couple of minutes just to bring as many of your typed in voices as we can into this space. Maxwell, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Bevilacqua. Somehow I'm not getting it right, but it's great that you're here, and thank you for being with us. And Shabbat Shalom to you, Maxwell. Anyone else here for the first time? Well, we're waiting also for the Mentimeter. Wow, this is already happening. I guess didn't see it. There it is. Perfect. Robert Kunikov. Yes, so good to have you, Bob. We got your email. So good to have you for this first time as a Romemu member tonight. Welcome. Welcome. Great to have Jay. Great to have you here. And look what else is here in this service tonight. People have brought love and hope and peace, bisexuality, exhaustion, needing to find ground, breath. Chanukah Licht, a stressy day, letting go, some loneliness, an open heart and dance. Let's see, we have some dreaming and being still here tonight. Leah Rosenthal is here for the first time. So happy to have you here. So lovely so far. So far, so lovely. Great to have you with us. And into the Mentimeter world, we've got more peace, more gratitude, more exhaustion, some relief, some cats. Someone brought there being nearly 64. 9 inches of snow. We have some snow here too, up in New Paltz. A little bit of rage. Also being held tonight in this beautiful container. Some raw strength, some appreciation. At the end of services, which we hope and pray all of you will stay for, 2 things will happen. A community will stand together to recite the Mourner's Kaddish at about 7:20, 7:25, and we hope you'll stay until then. And then at 7:30, if all things go as we plan them usually each week, and we never know, but if all goes as planned, at 7:30 we'll be saying Shabbat Shalom to each and every one of you as much as possible, seeing your faces on the screen. So we hope that all of you here at this moment will stay for those moments that will be coming in a little while. At this moment, We invite our rabbinic interns, Maya Zinkel and Ben Pearlstein, to lead the Kihila, to lead this community in the Baruch. If you are able to rise, please rise.
We're on page 38, everybody. Diddy-di, di, ay, 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 ay. Diddy-di, di, ay, 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 da, di, middy-di, di, ay, 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 ay. Dee-dee-da-da-dee-da-yi-yi-yi. Dee-dee-da-da-yi-yi-dee-dee-da-yi. Da-da-dee-da-da-yi-yi-yi-yi. Dee-dee-dee-da-yi. Da-da-dee-da-da-yi-yi-yi-yi. Da-dee-dee-da-yi. Da da dee da ya da dee da ya da da. Amma ya ba ba yo. Baruchu et Adonai. Diddy die, die, ya, 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 na, ya, ya, ha-mevorach. Baruch Adonai ha-mevorach. Leolam vaed. Hididam vaidai-dai-da-da-dam. Ai-dai-dai. Baruch Adonai ha-mevorach leolam vaed. Page 40, Bruchat Shechina, Eloteinu Ruach HaOlam Asher. Ela chaya v'kayemet amitimloch aleinu leolam vaed. Di-di-di-di-di-di-di-di-di-di-di-di. Bruchat Shekhinah Hamariva Ravim. We move to page 42 to sing of a love across time and space. I did it on my love. Olam Beit Israel
המחבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו וקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. ויקיים חיינו ויארך ימינו ויארך ימינו נגע יומם ולילה יומם ולילה והבטחה אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. You love your people Israel.
Amen. As we turn to page 43 and prepare for Shema, gathering all the fringes, everything at the fringes of our consciousness. Sometimes when we try to listen, we have so many thoughts, so many other voices that we hear. At this moment, we just bow to the divinity in whatever we hear. For all is one. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha on page 44. B'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha. With all your very muchness. V'hayu adivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha. Veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam. Meshivtecha v'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech. Uvshochbecha uvkumecha. Ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot beinenecha. Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. We continue together on page 46, continuing to listen and to know that we are connected, to know that when we connect, blessing flows. Please don't forget me, so you will not be forgotten. Tie yourself to this eternity, the only eternity there is. Ve'yomer Adonai Moshe Lemor on page 48. Daber el bnei Israel. Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Emet. Adonai is the true one God, the very same, who led us out of Mitzrayim, who turns us towards the sea, who shows us miracles through the illuminated lights and images of hardworking healthcare workers getting a miracle vaccine on this long road to healing. This week's Parsha, Yosef sheds tears, salt and water. Yosef's tears are the first steps on that long road to healing, the healing of our patriarchal family. So as we turn to face the sea of salt and water, we remember that all healing begins with salt and water. On page 53, Elim Adonai, Imi kamocha, Nedar b'kodesh, Lifnei Moshe Miriam, Zeili Anu ve'ameru Adonai Imloch le'olam Hayvaed Yavava Yirida V'nemar kifada Adonai es Yaakov go'alo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Yamayda Gal Yisrael Hayidam Hayda Hayda Avo. Hinido dai abai bai no. Fro salenu sukat shlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai. Hapores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'al Yerushalayim.
Amen. Please rise if you are able, in body and or in spirit. We gather together on page 57. V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת ודורותם ברית עולם. איי ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
Yiskadal, Yiskadash Shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Alma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uvyamechon uv'chay dechol beis Yisrael bagala uvizman kari v'yimeru. Amen. Yeshmei Rabba mevorach le'olam elal me'al maya yisparach.
יתברך וישתבח ויתבר ירומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה
Richu.
לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה נמירן מעלמה Vimeru. Amen.
You'll find the words of your ancestors on the next few pages. And we invite you to close your camera, to turn inward, speak the prayers of your own heart, or the words on the page in front of you.
It was a pretty special day yesterday, I think, for a lot of us who were waiting with bated breath for that big nor'easter to come blowing through. Being outside of the city and having grown up outside of the city, I was wondering what it would be like, over here in the boondocks, up here in New Paltz. I know it's not the boondocks. In amazing New Paltz, hilly New Paltz, rural New Paltz. After over a decade living in New York City, where the pristine purity of winter's, winter's white, is often really quick and transient, where the beauty of that snow becomes slush so quickly that you barely have a moment to luxuriate in its luster. We woke up yesterday morning to snow up to our waist up here. And as I heard the boys bounding out of the house, their snow regalia on, all dressed up to play, very quickly, word got back to us that Orzi, our 4.5-year-old, was stuck in the snow. The boys related to us excitedly that they had tried to lift him out, but they came back to get the necessary tools to dig him out. They had to go down and get him. They had to go back out into the snow, and they had to go out and bring their brother back. This evening, this Shabbat, is a kind of grace, it feels like to me. Usually this Shabbat, the Shabbat known as Shabbat Miketz, the parsha that we read is the second of the 4 parshiot of the 4 parts of the Torah that deal with the story of Joseph. This Shabbat is usually the Shabbat in the middle of Hanukkah, but this year it falls at the end of Hanukkah. Not only does it fall at the end of Hanukkah, it falls right in a way that bridges Hanukkah with an actual Havdalah, with an actual separation that will take place tomorrow night, not tonight. As if giving us another day, another light, another, maybe even a 9th night of Hanukkah in which to process that which we've experienced over the last 10 months. And when I think about that moment, simple as it was yesterday morning, the moment where the brothers went back out to get their brother, of course I'm reminded of something very profound that takes place tomorrow morning in the Torah. It's a funny thing how life continues to teach us what we must know, even as we so quickly and so frequently forget the knowing and the lessons, right? One of the enduring truths that we know is that painful patterns don't just work themselves out. Dysfunctional and maladaptive ways of being in the world, whether they are personal, communal, or global in thought, speech, or behavior, they don't just undo themselves. What's unfinished calls to us. Maybe initially it calls to us in a whisper, but then it calls to us with desperation. Finish this, complete this, don't turn away from me. And in some profound way, we all know this to be true, that the past comes looking for us, doesn't it? The past comes looking for us and asks us to lift it up, to look at it, to live it, to breathe it, to learn it. And so tomorrow morning's reading, which is at the center of the Joseph narrative, the center of the, maybe even the most important narrative in all of the Torah, it hinges on, its fulcrum is essentially one moment and two words. One moment and two words. In the chapter 42, in chapter 42 of the book of Genesis, after Joseph has, of course, in the story, Joseph has risen, he has become a great and powerful leader, he has decided on a way to nourish the world after the 7 years of famine. There's a famine in the land, the Torah tells us. And Jacob turns to his remaining sons, the brothers, and says to them, I know that there is food in the land of Egypt. Vayomer, in verse 2 of chapter 42, Redu Shama Veshivru Lanu Misham. Go down there and bring back nourishment so that we might live and not die. Vayerdu Ache Yosef. And the brothers of Joseph went down. Two words. The first one, of course, is shever, the word used for nourishment in the Bible. Shever is, of course, the same word as the Hebrew word for brokenness. Shever and shvira are connected. Go down and find nourishment from the shvira, from the break. This word will repeat itself over and over again, calling our attention to it to say the break is the bread. That which was broken will also feed you. That which is broken will also feed you. That which is broken will also feed you. But only if you do something important. Second word. And it's a word that appears here. It appeared earlier in the Joseph narrative, vis-a-vis Joseph, vis-a-vis Judah. And it appears here in a slightly different quality. The word redu or raid. Raid in Hebrew means go down. Descend. Go down. Go down, Jacob tells the brothers, go down and see if there is nourishment in the broken place. If there is nourishment, if there's something that might feed this starving, hungry family. If you look at the word raid in other places, God says to Moses, raid, ki shichet amcha, go down, Moses, go be with the people. They have been broken, they have broken, go be with them. In the earlier parts of this narrative, Joseph doesn't go to Egypt of his own volition. He's, right, that he's taken down. And then Judah of his own volition leaves the brothers, and he's all alone. And these two, Joseph and Judah, are alone in their descent. But here in this pivotal fulcrum moment, in maybe the most important moment in this story, Jacob says to the brothers, together, Vayerdu, go down together. Go down and bring back. This is so powerful. It's powerful because this descent also registers on us because Joseph himself doesn't want to go back up. And so there is a stalemate. Joseph is alone in the land of Egypt, the land of constriction, trying to forget his past, trying to forget who he was and where he came from. He refuses to even send a signal back to his father. We can readily imagine how traumatized he was. And over here on this side, Jacob and his children. Until ultimately Jacob says to them, go down, because you will not be able to go forward until you go down. You will not be able to go forward until you go down, until you are willing to go to the place that you have refused to see, until you make peace with that which you have hidden away. And in so many ways, Joseph too imagines that he can hide, he can turn away, right? But it comes back to him. And the brothers present themselves to Joseph. This movement going down to go forward. This rapprochement between Joseph and the brothers doesn't take place, though, remarkably, in the land of Canaan. It happens in the land of Egypt, in the land of constriction, in the land that will become the place where we are enslaved. In so many ways, tomorrow morning's reading speaks of the new normal. Tomorrow morning's reading tells us that the hope for happily ever after, the hope that the brothers will go down, they will be nourished by the brokenness, and then they will wind up coming back with Joseph is an illusion. It won't happen. The rapprochement will happen in the land. The coat of many colors has been torn asunder. It will not be sewn back together again. Joseph and the brothers will make peace, but it will not be the peace of what was, but the peace of what can only happen when we go down to go forward. The hope of going back to normal for all of us. We know it can't be. We know that it's impossible for us to imagine going backwards in time. We won't be going back to a world that has not been touched by trauma and by disillusionment. We know that even as we have seen some of the light that is at the end of the tunnel, as a dear friend of mine said to me this morning, it also has shown us the tunnel itself, and that tunnel, that place, is not a place that we are to go back to, but we are to go down into, to extract what we need to extract, to fix what we need to fix, to see what we need to see, to go forward. Redu Shama, go back to bring up. And it won't happen immediately. It won't happen in one fell swoop. It won't happen as we know right now that it can't happen any quicker than it's going. And that there'll be starts and stops and fits and bursts. But more important than all of that is, what will it be that we will return to, as it were? What will it be in this world? How will we find the new normal? It certainly can't be by looking away. It certainly can't be by turning the eye. It certainly will not happen, right? If we're not strong enough, if we don't find the support necessary to do a deep dive below the surface of things, to live with more transparency, to live with more vulnerability, to live with greater accuracy, to make those choices that are not easy ones, but that are the necessary ones for us to kind of come out of this differently. Some of you in this community know that 2 weeks ago, I recorded a podcast that I let the community know about the next week, a podcast that had me going into some of my family secrets, into some of the things that I hold deep in my own heart and deep in a place where in many ways I needed the strength, I needed the courage, I needed the clarity to be able to share that and to look at it deeply, and to look at it deeply with some of you in this community. And as I now take a turn to a little bit of a time off for the next couple of weeks, I'm thinking and bringing with me Jacob and Joseph and the brothers and saying, how might I also go down to go forward? How might I raid? How might I raid? What's the raid? How do I go there? How do I descend for the sake of healing? And so I'm wondering tonight, as you make the turn this evening out of Romemu into your various places of eating and Shabbating and connecting, what might it be like just for 30 seconds, a minute, maybe two, just to explore together some of the places that you have been, as it were, forced? Because, of course, the conditions that were present for Jacob, had there not been a famine, maybe Jacob would never have sent the boys down. Had we never had COVID, we might not have been up here for this snow. So often in our lives, we are absolutely responding to conditions that are beyond us and that force us sometimes to do the work that we would otherwise avoid doing. And there is a fundamental dance called the avoid dance, where we can just skirt around that void that Jacob, as it were, was forced to confront and send his sons into. So I wonder for all of you tonight, in what ways has this last 10 months forced you, invited you to look at things that you might not have looked at otherwise? And in what ways will you do it differently? In what ways is there an invitation here to descend for the sake of going forward? I'm so curious to hear, or maybe to imagine, what might be explored tonight and what might arise for you. And I bless you that as you step into the deep snow, you know, it's hard to get a little light, a little ore out of that snow. When my boys did, they came back a couple of minutes later. They had lifted up ore. They lifted up my little light. He was a little bit wet, of course, and wondering why it took so long to go back and get him. But with courage and the right tools, there's a lot of light that we might extract during this winter. I bless each and every one of us to have the power to do redo, to raid, veshuvu, shivru, bring back the nourishment from those broken places. Please rise, if you are able, as we conclude the davening with the mourner's Kaddish in a moment, and also with our call to Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Dirinai Nanai Dai Dai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Dirinai Nai 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 Nai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Dirinai Nai 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 Nai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Dirinai Nai 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 Nai. This is in your Siddur. I will build this world from love. Dirinai Nai 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 Nai. You must build this world from love. Dirinai Nai 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 Nai. If we build this world from love with love, Dirinai Nai Nai Nai. And she will build this world through us with love. Dirinai Nai 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 Nai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Dirinai Nai 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 Nai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Dirinai Nai Nai Nai. Nemar V'chaya ha'ola L'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu Han bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo 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 echad. And on that day, Umachad v'nadim ame al kol panim, the tears of mourning, the tears of remembrance. We invite those in the community who are in mourning to please stand. And as the names of those who are in mourning are on the screen in front of all of us, all 190 some odd of us still here, please read these names to yourselves in your space. Bring their presence in as we honor those who are within the first 7 days of mourning in this community. Those who are within the Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning within this community. Those who were in the first year of mourning in this community. And Hildesheim also. I'm still waiting. Rebecca, can we get the those within the first year, or is there a technical difficulty? Okay. Here it is. Thank you, Rebecca. So perseverant of you. Thank you. Technology always doesn't always behave the way we'd like it to. We remember all of these names. Hmm. 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 And someone who lost his sister this week, our dear Matt Tanin, whose sister Grace passed away this past week. Sophie Tario, Juan Pereira, Naomi Bauman, Danny Kaiser, Adam Beckman, Janice Bastuni, Bob Ben Alderin, and all of those who have no one to say mourners Kaddish for them as well. If it is your custom to stand for the mourners, please rise at this moment as we stand together in solidarity, united through the heart. Yiskadal v'yiskadash shemei rabam B'alma divrach Yerusei v'yamlich malchusei B'chayechon v'yamechon v'chedechol beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman korib v'yimeru amen Yehei shmei rabam v'vorach v'olam v'yom almaya Yidvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitromam yidnasei v'yisadar v'yisala v'yisalal Shmei d'kutsha b'richu le'elamin kol mirchasa v'shirasa Tush v'chasa v'nechem asan damiran v'yoma v'imiru amen Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Oseh shalom וברחמיו יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו amen. May their memories be a blessing. May their memories be held in our hearts and in our bodies and in our lives as we walk with them always. Such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gift it is to be with all of you today on this special Shabbat of post Hanukkah into this beautiful, beautiful space of this community which almost all of you have stayed on, which I wanted to say, Asher Kochachem, good for you. I trust me, Zoom fatigue is a real thing, and I trust it. I trust. And especially because all of you have such beautiful voices and you want to be singing in harmonies, which you will be doing, God willing, soon. And so many of you want to be sitting next to one another. And I know that. And it's going to happen, God willing, soon for all of us. And we pray tonight and every night for all of those who in this period are having such a tough time. And that's all of us, but especially for those who are ill, and we pray for them and their healing. And we pray for this world that's so deeply in need of healing. Ashreinu, Matov Chalkeinu. We're lucky to have this. This is a gift. And so, from my heart to all of you, I bless you and I thank you for your blessings. For all of the snow that we pull each other out of, as it were. So, of course, to the team, to this incredible team, I hope you can see Rebecca Feldman from behind the scenes. Can you see Rebecca? She's going to highlight herself so we can see her. Oh, she can't do it. Can you do it and also share your screen? She can. And she is. There's Rebecca Feldman. There's Miriam Rubin. Thank you so much, guys, for everything you do. Really, mamash, incredible. To our incredible davening leaders, right? Maya and Ben, your kavanah comes through like 1,000 suns. So radiant and so full of light. Into this cup of blessing, there's a lot of people. So let's look at our incredible team, our staff. And our staff, of course, is not only supporting this community, but supported by this community. All of your membership dollars and your donations at this end of the year are what it takes to keep Romemu's beautiful team, together and working hard on behalf of this wonderful community. So maybe we can see them. It's hard to find them. I know Rebecca is looking hard, to find that slide. And as she does find that slide, I want to put into this cup of blessing my amazing wife, Ariel, without whom I could not lead even one service. Ariel, thank you. And to Jeffrey Kahn, who is somewhere here. Usually he's here with us, but maybe this Shabbos, maybe the Shabbos he's not here, but we're always so blessed to have you, Jeffrey. And in a second, maybe we'll find that screen with all of the team. And until then, I'm going to just do Kiddush, because since we're not sharing the screen, you can find it, and then we'll just get there. I hope that you have your cup of blessing. Where's Richard and Elizabeth? Come on, guys. A nice glass of wine. Where is it? Oh, you finished already. Mahip has one. Lena has one. There's Neely with her cup of blessing. Where's Stephen and Marcia? That's going to be there. Okay, I see it. Okay. You have yours, and Steve has his. And there's Nancy with her beer, which is also good. Why not? Gesundheit. Whatever it takes. There's Zelda with her cup. So beautiful. Kinena Haram into this cup of blessings. From Aunt Joni, we have a Hanukkah mug. That's a mug shot. I love that. Beautiful mug shot. Let's see. Let's go around and see Valerie and Mark with their cups of blessing. Laura and Jack. And Mark and Jessica. Geschmack. You guys. Elise and Danny. So beautiful. All right. Into this cup of blessing. We're all good to go. ויאכלו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויכל אלוהים יום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישפוט ביום השביעי וכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש עושו כי בו שבס מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות צברי, my friends, לחיים to life ונחיה ולא נמות.
Amen.
But life to life. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav v'rotzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uv'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishis ki hu yom תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת עם כל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה ורצון הנחלתנו, Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbos.
Amen.
So this incredible, beautiful, amazing community, including this incredible, amazing team, is the one I like. You guys make this the sanctuary that it is, right? You are the ones who make this the holy, beautiful space. So I just saw Elise, and I thought to myself, I don't know. We should include this in our thank yous. The lay leaders who lead the candle lighting every Friday, and all of those who are supported by that, and to all of those in the community who are lay leaders who are supporting this community, whether it's Nili through Shmirah, and Tal Siegel and Lauren Jacobs, and all of those who are in the social justice groups, and you name it, all of you are the ones that are providing such tremendous nourishment and shever for this community, even as we have descended into some very narrow places, right? You're all blessings. And so let's see some of you. Let's see some folks. Elise and Danny, bless you. Shabbat Shalom, my friends. Oh Lord, repair. Mahip, L'chaim. Lena, Mahip. L'chaim. Rich, L'chaim. Keith and Barbara, we love you. L'chaim, Sue-Ann. Carolyn, Bracha.
That he's singing for us last night.
Beautiful. Zelda. Sandra, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Debbie. Lai. Neely. Shabbos, Neely, good Shabbos. Daiken, brother Daiken. Ariella. Shabbat Shalom, Diane. And Sharon. Nala. Hey, Renee. Shabbat Shalom, Renee and Mary. Shabbos. David and Abby. The Asuli. Wendy, Shabbat Shalom, Danny and Michael. Hi. Shabbos, friends. Peter and Pamela. Peter, love you. Jory, Shabbos. Shabbos Don in Peachtree, right? In Georgia. Ana Luisa in Mexico, and Abby. See you tomorrow morning, everyone, at 9 o'clock for open book. Shabbat Shalom to each and every one of you. Good Shabbos.